violence, fear, physical exhaustion, torture and injuries, lack of medical care, separation and loss of loved ones, rejection and isolation. These are just a few of the many traumas experienced by refugees that can affect their mental well-being. While it is a topic of many studies, it has proven difficult to calculate the percentage of refugees and displaced people who experience mental health issues. The American Psychiatric Association estimates that 1 in every 3 refugees suffers from anxiety, depression, and post-traumatic stress disorder. Reviews show large variations in reported prevalence rates, ranging from 5 to 80% for depression and 3 to 88% for PTSD.
I had a beautiful childhood. I had so many friends. We played so many games. I have loving parents and family. I have a lovely older sister. But then, the security status in Afghanistan was not good. In 2018, we came here, and it was hard. I wasn't as excited as I thought I would be. Leaving family, relatives, friends, and school in Afghanistan was hard. For the first 2 months, I just cried every night. I would go to a room and close the door and just start crying. My family tried to help me overcome this feeling of being homesick. I felt it in every cell in my body, and I let myself feel those feelings. If I wanted to cry, I cried. If I wanted to talk, I talked. Anxiety and depression can be a cycle, and I knew I had to get out of it, so I let myself express my feelings. I wish that when I arrived, there was a mental health network for refugees. I met a lot of people who are like me, so I knew I was not alone. As a refugee, you have to know that you belong in this country, and that it's okay to ask for help.
Although refugees experience loss upon loss, they often feel unable to discuss their experiences. In addition to lacking proper medical attention during their flight, displaced persons face consistent exposure to triggers that further deepen their trauma. There is also a lack of assessment screenings of mental health before, during, and after resettlement. Once resettled, the difficulty of navigating new cultures and finding acceptance in their new communities can further erode a refugee's mental health.
I was born in the refugee camp. I attended primary and then secondary school at the camp for almost 17 years. In 2016, my family and I were brought to Houston, Texas. I remember seeing our social worker for the first time and barely understanding anything she was saying. So I worked hard and just kept going and going. I was just trying to get myself through it and trying to help my parents. But I felt so alone. The youngest of 6 siblings, I felt pressure to understand how this country works and the resources that are available so I could help my parents and siblings. I participated in programs and found peers who were kind and helpful. But there came a point I realized I needed therapy. And that was hard, because therapists don't always understand exactly what I'm talking about. And it can be really hard to have to explain yourself and to relive the traumatic experiences over and over again. Through my journey to healing, I have learned that finding your community and trying to not isolate yourself is important. It is important to find your voice and share your story. I know now that if we are given the opportunities and the resources that we need, we can succeed just like everyone else.
Experts in the field of mental wellness for the displaced confirm that refugees' mental health depends on a combination of factors, including acceptance, opportunity for self-realization, and wholesome integration.
When you're a refugee, the biggest thing you deal with on a day-to-day basis isn't trauma, it's loss. We see that across cultures, between 10 to 20% of any group of people at any one time probably need additional assistance in the form of treatment.
Traumatic experiences should only be addressed in the service of the healing.
One-third of displaced will not need any therapy, but will bounce back on their own without any assistance on our part. When we help them integrate, we are preventing mental health issues.
Once the tension dissipates, we can start building a basis of trust. Then they come to us not just with normal questions like where do I have to go, but also with their fears and their worries. This basis of trust is very important, not only to be able to work with people, but also to help them heal.
We gain so much when there is diversity. The refugees can continue to help so many people through their lives because of what they've experienced and because of who they are.
The opportunity to re-establish meaningful relationships, access to education and employment, a safe and understanding space to work through loss and grief. The benefits for mental health are limitless. The ultimate goal is for each individual to become empowered through their life's story. As a refugee, a survivor, a neighbor, and as a member of a community.